Hi, my name's William Michael Forbes, and I thought I'd put a short video together about what a spiritual medium or psychic is in a nutshell. The reality is that anybody can be a spiritual medium or psychic as long as they've got a relatively normally functioning brain. Their vibrational energy is higher as opposed to lower, because there are dark entities and there are light entities that resonate on different frequencies of consciousness. So if you spend a lot of time being angry and upset and you try to tap into other dimensions, you're going to tap into dimensions of beings that are at that frequency of anger and upset. If you are cultivating your awareness and you're in a state of love and grace and bliss, you're going to tap into beings from that level, like Jesus and Buddha, Ramtha, Lao Tzu, Joan of Arc, many, many other beings of light that have been with us throughout the ages of human experience. A spiritual medium is one who has the capacity to move their awareness from a non-physical state of consciousness, pick up information, and bring that information back into their body. The term is commonly known as downloading, where you're able to tap into messages that are beyond your frame of reference for who you are, and you're able to bring that messages and information down into your body and then articulate them with your voice. So for example, if I were to tap into, say, Lord Metatron right now and ask for his frequency or his vibration to become present, I could relax and I would actually start to feel this vibration. It's a really high-pitched vibration at first I get from him coming from behind, and it comes in, and his usual words are, "I am here." And they usually all start with, "I am here." Eventually, as you start to develop your skills as a spiritual medium, being able to listen to other dimensions, that you can actually know them by vibration and name immediately. So Jesus has a particular vibration, Metatron has a particular vibration, Kuan Yin has a particular vibration. All of these ascended masters and enlightened beings have different frequencies, just as lower vibrational beings have their own unique signatures, and they have names and identities that are individualized on their frequency that you can tap into. But I highly recommend that if you choose to go into the realm of learning how to communicate with beings on different levels of consciousness, that you do so from a position of love and grace, as you're going to get a different experience of what that is for you. And you'll also cultivate a sense of playfulness and joy when you're engaging in light and excitement. There are certainly beings on this planet that are transmitting and bringing through frequencies of a lower nature, which is why we have war and destructiveness and control and power games on the planet. And a spiritual medium is really just an individual who can tap into those different frequencies. And in reality, any medium who's attuned enough, aware enough, awake enough, can sense, feel, or know beings on many, many levels. Again, I've gone through the lower level phases, and I've gone through that period of my life, and I'm at a place now where I'm working from a higher frequency of consciousness that allows for stability, that allows for growth, that allows for change in a harmonious and joyful way, as opposed to a painful and destructive way. Just because somebody's negative doesn't mean they can't create change. It's the kind of change they create, and the means and way they create that change is different from somebody who's creating from a place of love. You know, Mother Teresa versus a Genghis Khan are creating changes in human experience in very different ways. I recommend that you choose your modality very carefully, because you can deal with very low vibrational beings that can be very destructive, not only to your body, but to your mind, but also to the people around you. How would you learn to tune yourself into a higher frequency of consciousness? What's involved in doing that? I can speak from my own experience and say that I went through a period in my life where things were very difficult, and I was angry, and I was upset, and I was depressed, and I was suicidal, and I didn't like much about the world at all. And I had to gradually go through a place of surrendering all that, and then making a choice to engage in activities, thoughts, and behaviors that sustained what I really wanted my experience to be: joyful, positive, pleasant, uplifting, empowering, expanded consciousness. And as you make those choices on a moment-to-moment basis, you feel anger, upset come up, and you surrender those. You know, I'm not going to function from that. You can choose light. In fact, the minute you release the dark energies from your system, you actually move towards light. There's a transition that some people call purgatory, which is that in-between state. You're neither dark nor light, but you're somewhere in between. You're aware of both, because you still haven't completely committed to one path or another. This is not to be confused with the Buddhic path of the middle ground, because the middle ground is a very different place. It's where you're aware of the polarities, but you're neither affected by either of them but you're at peace with yourself. To me, this does not represent a unified state of infinite intelligence where you're connected to the all-knowing source that's providing the energy for both the good and the evil. It is more of a state of just grace, where you are not committed to one or the other. You're just doing what's right in front of you to do based on how you're being. But that's true of every single human being on this planet anyway, whether you're a negative person or a positive person or a sad person. You can only function from the state of being that you're choosing to keep your attention on. A medium, a spiritual medium particularly, knows how to move their awareness out of states of consciousness that are unfavorable to them and into states of consciousness expression that are favorable to them. And again, that's a personal preference. Again, the process of experiencing something that's painful is ultimately less desirable than experiencing something and learning something through a state of joy. It's completely up to you which path you're going to choose, but if you look at the world around you today, you can clearly see a snapshot of our overall human collective consciousness playing out on a global scale. And a cautionary note to that is we are at a point in our consciousness that the sun, the earth, and the other planets are interplaying with each other right now. And it's important to understand that every human being, every life form on this planet has an interconnectedness, whether we're aware of it individually or consciously or not. We have an effect on each other. We have an effect on this planet. We even have an effect on the solar system collectively. Remember, there's an electrical circuit of energy that flows through all things. You know, George Lucas in his Star Wars creation called it the Force. And there's other schools of thought that call it different things: chi, energy, spirit, whatever you want to call this force that connects us all through different frequencies such as sound and sight and smell and touch and taste and feeling and emotion. Whatever the medium is, it's all in the last analysis just energy. And it can't be created, it can't be destroyed, it can only be changed from one state into another. The reason I wanted to make this video is we're at a crucial point in consciousness on this planet as human beings. Choosing to be a spiritual medium of light allows us the opportunity to create a stability, a balance, a harmony between ourselves and all the living things, including the planets and the stars, believe it or not. Because this interconnecting source is not separate at any point in time and space. It is linked into every single iota of itself throughout all of creation. There's been great talk of this magnetic pole flip that's been occurring, the movement of the North Pole and the South Pole. And I believe, from my understanding and the learnings that I've done, that our consciousness as a species and the way we are interacting with the other life forms on this planet is causing this shift in the poles, that we're once in a balanced flow that can't maintain a certain stability all the time. That stability is being lost. And I believe that stability is being lost because of our disharmony that we're experiencing. Disharmony with ourselves, disharmony with our friends, our neighbors, disharmony with other countries, disharmony with other life forms, disharmony with the air, disharmony with the water. That as long as we maintain an imbalance, that these poles will continue to flip and flip and flip and flip. And literally the Earth magnetic field will flip, and it will cause a change in the Earth's rotational behavior, which will basically reset humanity to a state of consciousness where we have to start over again, for lack of a better term. I believe this is preventable, and I believe the goal of every human being should be to prevent this, so that we can continue to evolve, grow, and develop, to expand ourselves out beyond this Earth to the stars. If you look at the universe from the perspective of electrical magnetic properties, then the entire universal mechanism and every part within it, including yourself, is an electromagnetic mechanism that functions on the principles of electromagnetism. And from that perspective, if you understand induction and frequency and wave, then every human being moving into a state of love and grace, respect and appreciation from one another will actually send that frequency out to other life forms, to truly love other animals, to truly love other people, to love and appreciate the trees and the air and the sky, to such a degree and extent that a state of love or grace prevails upon the planet predominantly. We would begin to observe the poles beginning to stabilize back into their positions before they get past the tipping point, which is supposed to be in about 21 and a half years, 21 or 26 and a half years, that we can prevent this flip by getting into a state of love and grace universally on this planet, not just with ourselves, not just with our neighbors, but with the other life forms on the planet, to truly honor, ennoble, and respect them, to remove from our human paradigm those things that harm life, to remove from our human paradigm those things that diminish life's expression, to remove from our paradigm anything that encumbers or inhibits life from expressing itself naturally and organically. And humans have upset that balance for some time. A spiritual medium knows how to bring messages through from different dimensions, from different beings, to be able to articulate what it is needed for humanity. At least that's what I believe it is on the side of light. And I hope that this message resonates with some of you, that you begin to consider what can you do today to establish more love, more grace, more harmony between yourself, your environment, your friends, other countries. Because believe me, electrical energy does not lie. If you feel upset at any time, your body reacts instantaneously. Humanity and the life forms on this planet are reacting in fear and in love. And the most dominant vibration is what determines the outcome in terms of material experience. So really inspire yourself to come to a place of love and grace towards yourself, towards life. Treat everything with respect. Encourage your friends, your politicians, all the people you know, that this concept is actually happening today. That human consciousness and the interrelationship we have with all the other life forms on this planet is shifting our poles. There will be many that say to us, no, that's impossible. We're not significant enough to play a role. But you could take a single drop of water and drop it on an exposed electrical wire, and it'll create a short, an explosion, if you will, from a single drop of water. And human consciousness is more than a single drop of water on this planet, which is an electromagnetic organism driven by a plasma core that's fed by the sun, and they're all interconnected, and we're connected to it. That our fear acts like water on that electrical circuit, just as love acts as an insulator for that electrical circuit. Call it the universal electric circuit that moves interdynamically through all dimensions of time and space, and non-dimensions of time and space. I'm getting to a subject matter again. When they come through, I just say what flows through. But my goal in truly presenting this was to encourage you and to inspire you to begin tapping into your higher frequencies of consciousness, the beings of love and light that are always around us all the time. Every single soul on this planet is capable of being a channel for divine messages, just as every single soul upon this planet is capable of being a messenger of negative energy messages. And we can see both playing out on the human scale. What do you think imbalance in finances are? It's an electrical difference in the potential between one group of people and another. It's a change in electrical energy. And we can tip that scale at any time, collectively. It really is about the numbers. It is all about the numbers, not about the financial numbers. The numbers of people that choose to align themselves to love and light, to harmony, peace, and goodness, has a far greater influence than all the greed, all the control, and all the power games that are going on mechanistically in this planet. And by mechanistically, we mean the mechanisms of banking, pharmaceuticals, and corporations that currently regulate 95% of all human behavior on this planet through mass media programming. And when you get to a place where you can transcend that and not be subjected to those messages and inputs from those systems, that you can then begin to choose and design the life of your dreams. Wealth and prosperity are not to be confused with states of love. Wealth and prosperity can be expressions and extensions of a state of love and grace, but you don't necessarily have to be in a state of love and grace to accumulate wealth or power. You can be in a state of control and manipulation over others and maintain a state of control and power. But no individual who can truly think freely can ever be subjective to anybody else's will, ever. I said a lot much more than I thought I was going to, but I hope this message rings true for some of you, and I want to bless you all and wish you much, much love, and really consider that you are a spiritual medium. Not that you can be, you are. Learn to listen, ask questions, and think about it when you ask questions. Who are you asking? When you want to know something and you're looking for that answer, who are you looking to? Because there's this physical self that is you, and there's this spiritual being that is you. Both are equally powerful and potent. Learn to utilize them effectively. Utilize your consciousness to step out of who you think you are and reach for broader scope of information, messages, and ideas to inspire you, to excite you, to enthrall you with life again. Because life, I believe, is meant to be a journey of love, joy, and bliss. Much love. Take care. Bye for now.